Watch Dr. Drew's new show at 9 on HLN. Weeknights on HLN.
In Ohio, the number of fatal overdoses accounts for more deaths than car crashes. Nowhere is this epidemic more prevalent than the small town of Portsmouth, Ohio. Drug overdose deaths increased by 360% from 1999 to 2008. Now, again, it's pills related. Remember this. This month, the Ohio Senate passed a bill targeting pill mills. Federal agents are cracking down on doctors who are illegally prescribing prescription medication. But I got to tell you, there's tons of problem with it being done legally, too. So tonight, joining me from Portsmouth is Police Captain Charles Horner, as well as Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine, both on the front lines fighting this epidemic. And I also have Lisa Roberts. She's a public health nurse. We saw her there in that last shot. Now, first, I want to go to Attorney General DeWine. What is going on in Portsmouth?
Well, it's a real tragedy. Doctor, you've hit on it. This is destroying families. And it's not just, candidly, it's not just in Portsmouth. It is all throughout the state of Ohio, all 88 counties. Every single county we see this. We lose 4 people in the state of Ohio every single every single day who die of accidental drug overdoses, and many of these who die every single day are prescription drugs.
Attorney General, let me ask you this. I poured through a little bit of the Ohio statutes on pain management. Throughout the early part of the last decade, there was a lot of legislation to encourage doctors to prescribe. In fact, criminal liability was incurred for doctors that didn't prescribe adequately for patients in pain. Have we just gone too far with this sort of legislation?
Doctor, I don't think the problem is so much legislation, candidly. I think we all know that for a while doctors were not prescribing enough as far as pain medication years ago. We've come back the other way. Most doctors today, let's be honest, are doing a very, very good job with their patients. But what we have in the state of Ohio, and what we have found, is a handful of doctors who are killing people. And they're putting these drugs out on the streets. The doctor that we hit had the raid in Portsmouth that you referenced. The case is still pending. I can't talk a lot about it. But by the time we got there that morning, we had it under surveillance. By 12:30, he had already seen 43 patients. We walked in, and there was no medical equipment. There was no nurse. There was no receptionist. It was just the doctor sitting at a table like I am at right now and writing out prescriptions. So we have some of these rogue doctors, and candidly, what we're going to do in Ohio is we're going to take their licenses from them. We're going to drive them out of the state, and when we can criminally prosecute them, we're going to prosecute them. That's my commitment.
I appreciate that, and I hope that takes care of the lion's share of the problem. My greatest fear is that we've got other issues in addition. Now, in 2010, in Scioto County, where Portsmouth is located, 9.8 million doses of prescription painkillers were dispensed. This gives you a sense of the magnitude of the problem that the Attorney General was just talking about. 65% of the people who died did not have prescriptions for the drugs that caused their deaths. There's a lot of street activity going on out there, evidently. 9 out of 10 crimes were drug-related. Police Chief Horner, what's your perspective on all this?
It's an epidemic on our community. We're fighting these pill mills, and we appreciate the effort of the Attorney General and the DEA and the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Columbus. They are coming to Portsmouth, to Scioto County, and providing us the assets that we desperately need to combat this problem.
Well, we've had this in California for quite some time as well, and I know the DEA and law enforcement do a very good job of cleaning up the egregious overprescribers. That kind of, to me, Lisa, I want to get your perspective since you're a nurse and you're dealing with the patients on a sort of grassroots level. The egregious examples are sort of the easiest to target. Is there a more endemic cultural problem in overprescribing in your communities or in Ohio in general?
In our community, it seems to be tied to poverty quite a bit. It doesn't take a cartel to be a drug trafficker anymore. A lot of people have taken this up as a career. And so we have street-level dealers who are actually visiting pain clinics, obtaining prescription pills, selling them on the street, which is forever perpetuating this addiction and the spread of this epidemic.